Is there any regrets or any hurts that you feel when you see that your grandfather cannot retire at the age of 50? Time is ticking, right? And he's still working, right? And it's not out of choice, it's out of having to continue to survive, right? Any regrets or any hurts that you see your grandfather going through this?
I definitely feel that if I worked harder, right, actually I might have the ability to help them retire. But I think from him, I also learned that taking care of your finances is very important because retirement is not guaranteed. I remember you asked me like, why is like retirement so important to me? The reason for that is because I don't see my own grandfather retiring. And I don't want to see that for my parents as well. I don't think that I will have a peace of mind retiring myself if my own parents are not retired. Like, how can you enjoy life when your parents are still out there working?
Welcome to another episode of Beneath the Breakthroughs, where we interview 6-figure to 7-figure entrepreneurs, real estate leaders, or even founders to hear about their story. You know, a lot of people are very focused on the awards, the titles, and everything that social media shows, but today we're going to dive deep into the stories that make them who they are today. So today I have a very dear friend of mine. He's also a very dear team leader of our team. He's the head of trainings of Millionaire Real Estate. His name is Ryan Xiao, and he has been with us for, I think, close to 5 years, right? Yes. And you know, Ryan's story started off not as easy, but he grew to become a leader of his own accord. And today, we are going to hear from Ryan's story. Ryan, thank you for trusting us with your story. Just want to understand a little bit more about your childhood, because I believe that your grandfather was a Garang-Guni.
Yeah.
And still is.
He stopped being a Garang-Guni quite a few years back.
I see.
But he's currently still working
As
a petrol kiosk attendant.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing story. Okay, so can you share with us a little bit about your childhood? So when you think about your childhood, what stands out most about the environment you grew up in?
Okay, I think for my family itself, right, I would say I'm very blessed lah. Okay, so I come from a very whole family, and my parents, they're very loving. They're very loving parents, and they have always found a way to provide for us lah. So there was never a point of time where I had to worry about, you know, the family or whatnot.
Yeah.
So they always made sure that they give us the best lor.
Yeah.
Even though there were certain point of times, actually our family did go through certain hardships lah.
Yeah.
But they never made it something that we had to worry about.
Yeah. Do you remember what were the hardships that your family had to go through there?
I think when we were very young, right? And I only found this out when I was much older. When we were very young, actually, because my dad runs his own company, there were certain points of time whereby the business was not so stable.
Yeah.
But as a kid, right, I was totally like oblivious to it.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was happening.
Yeah.
Just at the point of times whereby, you know, sometimes you, as a kid, you say, hey, can I buy this? Can I buy that?
Yeah.
Then your parents say cannot. Then you also never really think much about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those financial difficulties that you mentioned about are specifically towards the business not doing as well. And your dad is running the business still?
He's running his own business still.
Okay.
Yeah.
What business is that?
He's actually in the oil filtration trade.
Oh,
Yeah. So
interesting. I never knew that about you actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's running an oil filtration trade lah.
Yeah.
And he is considered self-employed. There was a certain point of time where he did expand a bit lah.
Yeah.
But then I think due to the capacity, he himself alone is able to run it.
Yeah. Something really interesting about you is that you shared about your grandfather being a Garang-Guni, right? Yeah. And what were some of the values that you felt that he passed on to you, like intentionally or even unintentionally, when you watch him at the bystanders?
Okay, so just to share a bit about my grandparents lah. Okay, so they're both still around. When we were younger, right, me and my brothers, especially like during school holidays or what, they actually made it a point to travel down to fetch us. So I still remember they always fetch us in their lorry. Then they'll bring us to eat lunch, all the way just to bring us to eat lunch. And then when we got into the lorry, there was always this $1 coin. Yeah, it's like giving us some pocket money lah. Yeah. And so something I actually learned from them or really appreciated about them is that they were very generous people.
Yeah.
This generosity could be a double-edged sword lah, because as they move on later into the years, I realized that actually they didn't really have a lot of savings.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like spending on people, they never help back.
Yeah.
Even like sometimes there's like part-time helper, coffee shop attendants, they'll give them an ang pao, things like that. Yeah. So they were very generous in that aspect, but it also resulted in them being set back in their finances.
Yeah.
And as a result, my grandfather is still working today.
Yeah. And how old is he now?
Now he's about, I think he's 80 plus.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think
Or
that
maybe reaching 80.
wow, I think that's really interesting because we usually experience the love of our grandparents a lot, but we are not sure what it cost them, right?
Yeah.
So when you watch your grandfather approach work, savings, money, responsibility, how did it shape the way you view money and effort today?
Okay.
Because I remember when I first met you, you had a very interesting perspective and a very right perspective towards money, right? So I wanted to know a little bit more about how did your grandfather shape that.
Okay. First and foremost, I would say that when I see my grandfather, I see a very hardworking man. Because back when I was younger, sometimes I'll join him on his, Garanguni trips. And as a kid, when I carry the newspaper, I remember, wow, it's so heavy, just one stack.
Yeah.
Yet he was able to carry so many of that stack up and down, so many trips. Yeah, so when I think of him, right, as a kid, right, wow, I think like, wow, this old man is so strong.
Yeah.
And he was a very hardworking man. I never hear him complain about the work at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was also, similar to my parents, he also made sure that he provided for us and always took good care of us. So in terms of the values that he shared with me is that I would say that I learned to be hardworking in terms of the work I put in, because if you can do it, then I should do it as well.
Yeah. But do you feel that he made an honest living?
Definitely.
So how did that guide you in how you approach your business or the people that you currently lead?
Okay, so when he does his Garanguni runs, right, actually it's a bit similar to us. Sometimes based on referrals, he'll get calls to go down for certain trips. Yeah, and okay, so something interesting to share, right, is that he actually appeared on the newspaper before.
Yeah.
I remember it's a poster that was hung up in the house. I'm not sure where is that poster anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of the newspaper. Hey, and then the title read Garanguni Man and His Joys.
Wow.
So
his joys.
And his joys.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was how people saw him, and it was so prominent to the fact that he actually appeared on the newspaper.
Yeah.
And this was something that I could see when I go on for the Garanguni trips also.
Yeah.
When he walked past, it's like people know him one.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just enjoy interacting with him and this and that. Yeah, that's how he built a community around him for his work.
And what I'm seeing is that you also did realize that having a good reputation is also important.
100%.
Right? And that's also the reason why when I see that you are doing your business dealings, you are someone who you do not want to overpromise, neither do you want to underdeliver. And you're also someone who says that, it's okay to have delayed success, but reputation still is worth more than gold. Right?
Yeah.
I see you live it up, right? But is there any regrets or any hurts that you feel when you see that your grandfather cannot retire at the age of 80? Because time is ticking, right?
Yeah.
And he's still working, right? And it's not out of choice, it's out of having to continue to survive, right?
Yeah.
Any regrets or any hurts that you see your grandfather going through this?
On my end, I definitely feel that if I worked harder, right, actually I might have the ability to help them retire.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then it will also become a constant snowball.
Yeah.
Because if I take care of them and I don't take care of myself also, it becomes someone else's responsibility to take care of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually one of the first things that comes to mind when you ask me if I could have done something.
Yeah.
It would simply to work harder.
Yeah.
But I think from him, I also learned that taking care of your finances is very important, because retirement is not guaranteed.
100%.
And I don't think it's the only one, but if you look at the workforce today,
So many.
you got cleaners, you got people working F&B, all these people are, elderlies. Maybe some of them are there based on their own will, but I'm pretty sure a huge population of them are there because they can't retire.
Yeah.
So that is something that really pains me to see. So I remember you asked me why is retirement so important to me?
Yeah.
And why is it that?
Because you started planning that when you were very early.
Correct.
Yeah.
My own retirement, not only just that, but also my parents' retirement. Yeah. So the reason for that is because I don't see my own grandfather retiring.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see that for my parents as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if your parents wouldn't be able to retire when they are old? How do you feel?
Definitely, I feel like I failed them somewhere. Yeah. Because, okay, even though, your finances, I believe it's an individual responsibility. For them, they took good care of me when I was younger. I do feel this responsibility to take care of them when they are older as well. Lah. It's not something they ask, lah, but I think it's a natural thing that we should do as kids.
And how do you feel feeling helpless, not being able to help your grandparents retire?
Guilty, a bit. Because even when I share it sometimes that my grandparents is still working, right? I also a bit embarrassed to say. Because I myself, like, if I go travel, I have money to travel, to enjoy. Why is this money not being spent to them? Spent on them. So at some points that makes me feel a bit guilty as well.
And this is something that I always admire about you, is that you always have this sense of responsibility for others to a level where you really feel that you want to provide, even though you're the youngest in the family. And it's also not known in Asian tradition that the youngest has to take care. Actually, the youngest is always taken care of. But where did this whole sense of responsibility to take ownership over your family, not just your immediate family, but also your grandparents and your parents, where did that come from?
Actually, I learned a lot from my parents because they themselves, they also take very good care of my grandparents.
Wow.
Every day after work, right, my parents will go down and go and see my grandparents, just to make sure that they have eaten, everything's okay, this and that. And it became a bit more frequent when my grandmother actually got hospitalized. So she has difficulty walking, but she's very stubborn. She still want to walk. So a lot of times, right, when she goes out, right, she will fall down and always end up in the hospital. So because of that, she becomes increasingly weaker, and she's very stubborn. She refuses to get a helper, even though we hire a helper. She's like so against it.
About it.
To the point that we had to send a helper back. Because of that, my parents, being responsible kids also lah, they want to make sure that my grandparents are taken care of. They always make it a point to go and find them lor.
So just one last question about this, right? Then why is the retirement of your parents so important? Because right now there are definitely people who are able to plan for their retirement, but why do you feel that huge sense of responsibility? And I mean huge, right? Why? Because that was your motivation when you came into the business as well.
To put it simply, right, I don't think that I will have a peace of mind retiring myself if my own parents are not retired. Like, how can you enjoy life when your parents are still out there working?
And did that shape the way you do your business now?
In fact, I do think I can work a lot harder. But that is one of the so-called motivations for me. In fact, it's like in my vision.
Amazing. Okay. So one thing I know about you is that you're an officer in the army.
Yes.
And you were the wing best.
Yes.
Can you help me a little bit? Because I was never a wing best or best what, but wing means how many people?
Wow. I need to go and count.
Roughly?
But, it's like a company size.
60? 100?
What is? You give me a second. I think 7 times 3 times 3, is it?
21. So it's about 63.
No. Maybe
around 60
maybe around that.
Right? A wing best. Did you work because I know back in army, right, as insecure guys, right, we always want to work towards having an approval from like the military. But I don't think you are someone like that. So did you work towards wanting to be the wing best?
No, to be honest, it was totally unexpected. A lot of people may not believe it, but really I wasn't working towards it or anything. So I just share a bit about how it actually led up to that. So back in PMT, right, I mean, all of us started on the same ground. So for me, I was a person who was very vocal back in BMT. So for example, there are things that we are going to get tekan, right? I'll go and make it a point to, hey guys, let's faster do this and that, so that we don't get scolded So work together as a team, right? But at that point of time, right, I know this because some of my closer friends, they shared it with me. Some people, they felt that, hey, this guy very wayang. He's doing it because he wanted to reach a certain recognition or whatnot. But actually, it wasn't the case. It did affect me at that point of time. So I did a bit of self-reflection. I'm also a bit of a people pleaser. I didn't want to step on anybody's toes or what. After BMT, I had a fresh start because starting in OCS, right? I made it a point to still work towards that goal of working together as a team to spur everyone on, but from a different approach, a more softer approach instead of being so aggressive, right? Started to be more mild so that actually shaped a lot in how I speak to people, in terms of how I interact with people or lead people. Because back then, in BMT specifically, like, it can come off as a bit aggressive.
Yeah.
But now I learn that, hey, actually there's a soft approach that can get things done.
That
as
also
well.
may work.
Yeah, and that was what made it work. So
Yeah.
because of my trauma back in VMT, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to offend anyone, right?
Yeah.
I made it a point to be friends with everyone in the wing itself.
Wow.
Such that I have a good relationship with everyone.
Yeah.
And that, I think, in turn made it a lot easier because I was given a leadership role.
Yes.
During one point of the
What role was that?
like the
IC.
IC lah,
Yes.
IC lah. So we'll take turns to change IC. So I was given the role of the IC.
Yeah.
And then I had to lead these people lah. And because I was very mindful of my relationship with them, I also look out for these guys.
Yeah.
Then certain things that, I mean, you just naturally want the best for them lah.
Yeah.
So I just let them know.
Yeah.
Like, let's do this together, and then so that we can all enjoy lah.
Yeah.
And as a result, I think a lot of people were very cooperative.
Yeah.
And I think one thing led to another, and then that's how I got the award lah.
I would want to say that you are one of the rare few in army who think about the collective best of the team, right? I mean, a lot of people do see that as wayang, right? But knowing you are not someone who wants the spotlight.
No.
You don't like it. Like, I think even this podcast is very uncomfortable for you,
Yes.
right? And you're not someone who likes to talk about yourself. You are someone who wants to step away from opportunities more than you want to step towards opportunities, because you always feel that someone else can do a better job. But where did that sense of responsibility to make sure that everybody achieve a common good together come from?
Actually, I never really thought about it lah. But for me, right, I just want to see the people around me succeed lah.
Why?
It's just a natural desire. Because I don't want to be in an environment whereby I am thriving, but everyone else is not doing well. If I were to pinpoint it to so-called a value that it was given from, right? Actually, I think it might be my dad. When you talk about him, right, he's actually someone who takes care of the people around him before himself. So even things like when there are relatives, because he's the one who drives, he makes it a point to send everyone back home or to fetch everyone to and fro. And that's something I realized about myself also.
Wow.
Because if you are so-called in a position of to give, it's a privilege to be able to give others. Yeah. And actually there's this phrase, actually comes from a kid's movie
Yeah.
Banyat.
Yeah.
So it says that a strong man stands up for himself, but a stronger man stands up for others.
Wow.
And that really stuck with me for a very, very long time.
Why is that important?
I want to be strong. Yeah. And to me, strength is being able to help others, to give to others. If you only take care of yourself, I don't think there's much to be happy about. Yeah.
So what was the biggest lesson in leadership that you learned in your stay in OCS? You mentioned a little bit more about just now previously that actually you don't have to be too hard on people.
Yeah.
I know you're someone who's very hard on yourself.
Yeah.
But I can see that you molded your leadership a little bit as you are with people, and you got more effective in leadership.
Yeah.
You talk about the soft approach. You talked about, balancing between being a people pleaser as well as someone who is able to move people without having to work for their approval. So if there was a biggest lesson you learned in OCS, what would that be?
If there's one lesson, right, I think is that one man can't do everything himself. Yeah. And that was a lesson that it took me a while to learn. Okay. So back when I was given the so-called like leadership roles during OCS, right, I was actually quite uncomfortable with telling people what to do. So whenever I told them to do something, right, for example, load up the cart, right, I'll go and do it myself also. I don't want to be seen as a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Like what you tell me to do, but you
you're
yourself
not
never
doing
do.
it. Yeah.
So I always made it a point to do it myself also. But I always got scolded by my superiors. So this is something that happened a lot. Because they say that you are in a position to lead.
Command.
You are supposed to make things happen faster. But if you yourself, you are doing everything yourself, understand that you want to lead by example, but it becomes very ineffective. So it was something that took me a while to actually let go.
Yeah.
To tell people, okay, to delegate, let's do this, and then trust that they
feel okay about your instructions.
They feel okay with it,
Yeah.
and they trust in your direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. So when you first left the army, I believe you entered real estate almost immediately.
Almost immediately, if not for COVID.
Yes, if not for COVID, right?
Yeah.
Hi, if you have watched till this part of the video and you are very inspired by Ryan's story, please do me a favor. Help me share this video to your friends or someone who you think have gone through the same path as him. Or if you know Ryan personally, DM him, text him. The IG link is going to be below. The WhatsApp link is going to just be below so that you can, have a conversation with him. And if you love this channel and you want us to continue producing content like this, a like means a lot to me. A subscribe means a lot to us. Share with your friends as well. Thank you so much. And now back to the video. So what made you join real estate? Because none of your family members are real estate agents, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so real estate was something that I actually thought about even way back in poly, even before I went to poly. It's a funny story. Back when I was selecting the course, right? I remember me and my group of friends were together.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, maybe I want to put real estate as one of the choices. Okay. But someone told me, hey, why you want to spend 3 years in a course when outside you can take less than 6 months? And I was thinking, hey, is it really true? Then maybe don't put real estate. So I went into communications instead, something that I feel that it's a skill set that you can actually apply in different trades.
So how did that whole thought of doing real estate come about?
Actually, it's just based on an idea because my only so-called impression of real estate, right, is actually the real estate agent that helped my parents sell their place. Yeah. And back when I saw him do his work, I just thought, hey, it's such a cool job, such an interesting job. You bring people, see house, it's a need, they are happy, you are happy, you make a living. Yeah. So that was my idea of the real estate work. And of course, there is the lifestyle freedom that comes with it.
Yes.
Being able to manage your own time, not being stick to like a 9 to 5.
Yeah. But why was the lifestyle freedom important to you at a young age? Because you had that thought when you were 18.
Way before that. I think, maybe 16 years old.
16. So why was that lifestyle freedom important for you?
There's no one so-called point of time where it occurred to me that it's important, but it's just how I wanted to live my life. I didn't want to be stuck within a routine or stuck being told what to do. But okay, one so-called contributing factor, right, is actually back when I was working part-time. Actually, since very young, right, 14 years old, I already started working part-time here and there for like allowance, okay? And when I work, right, actually, I do give my heart to the work, man. I do enjoy the work. For example, serving people and what, back in F&B, even as a waiter, you imagine a waiter is happy to serve. Yeah. Although the tiring part is another story. Yeah. But back when I was working part-time, I actually put heart into my work. So I was thinking, hey, if I'm going to be working hard for someone else, right, but it doesn't really translate to more pay, more results, why not work for myself? So that was one of the reasons why I actually considered a career where you're self-employed. One of the so-called easiest way to be self-employed as a real estate agent.
So when you first started, what did success look like to you in real estate?
If I were to put a figure, actually, for me, 5 figures was enough already.
Yeah, a year.
No, not a year.
A month.
A month.
Yeah.
I came into the industry, right, thinking that an average person was earning about 3K.
Yeah.
And if I can make 5K, actually very good.
Yeah.
If you can make 10K, wow, that's
even
like,
better.
Yeah, even better already.
That was how I came in the business as well. I was thinking, actually, I made 10K a month very good.
5 figures, right?
Yeah.
But then after that, you see everyone
doing better.
Then it also pushes you to want to do better yourself as well. Because if people can do it, why not you, right?
Yeah. So you came into this business back in 2021, and when you first entered the business, do you see it as like a long-term calling, or do you felt that it was like just a means to a specific end that you wanted to go into? And how did that change over time?
Actually, it's still the same. I saw it as a long-term career.
Yeah.
Something that, I stay for a long run. I know some people, they see it as, earn a first pot of gold, start a business, things like that. But not really. I saw real estate as something that I could do in the long run. Yeah. As long as I enjoy it, then why stop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have been in this team for more than 4 years. I realized you came in 2021.
Yes.
Right? And I still recall the first time I met you. I remember there was a sling bag.
Yeah.
And there was a button shirt that was folded on your sleeves.
Not folded, maybe just small.
Maybe that time you were quite big. What made you decide that was the right place for you JNE was the right place for you?
Okay.
Because we was very different then.
Yeah.
And I recalled that I think I may have followed up with you more aggressively than you did. I'm not sure. I told you that I wanted you in my team.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Okay, so a bit of backstory. I actually came to know about you, right, back in when I was in army.
Oh,
So I was scrolling through Instagram, right? Explore page. Then I saw your profile.
interesting.
And back then, right, you were actually doing Shophouse 88.
It.
Yeah,
Wow,
Shophouse 88.
that brand brought some results.
Yeah, correct. So when I saw it, I was like, wow. I think I saw the price of the shop house, everything is like, oh my god, this guy is so
22.
young. Yeah, maybe 1 year older.
Yeah.
He's able to get such results.
Yeah.
And then to me it occurred like I wanted to join someone who was relatable.
Yeah.
Such that I can also replicate
Yeah.
their results.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was actually one of the draw factor.
Yeah.
Okay. Next thing is that when you were building a team, is also a lot of like-minded individuals,
Yeah.
similar age group, people that I feel that I can relate with.
Yeah.
Rather than joining a team whereby it's a lot of much older
Different age
individuals.
groups, yeah. Yeah.
They may be experienced, but their experience and the way they run their business may not be relatable to me
Yeah.
as a younger individual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you transited from army to, from being someone telling others what to do, but before that in BMT, people tell you what to do, to being self-employed is your first job, right? I mean, not first job, but I would say your first career, right? What was the hardest adjustment you had to make? I think then you were 20, now you're 28, right?
I am 28
This year, right?
This
Yeah,
year.
2021. So it was 24. Yeah, so 24. What was the hardest adjustment you had to make?
To be frank, right, I would say that quite thankful also. I didn't really have to make a very huge switch.
Yeah.
Because prior to joining the real estate industry, right, it was actually COVID period.
Yeah.
I was just wait. In fact, after army, I wanted to take the paper straight away.
Yeah.
So I fast complete the course. By the time I signed up for my first paper, COVID hit.
Yeah.
They kept delaying the papers at least 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
So that resulted in a delay of about 8 months.
Yeah.
So during that 8 months, right, I was actually offered a full-time role. Wow. Because imagine
As
not
a what?
drawing an income. This was events planner.
Wow.
Before that, I was also doing events. So that was something that I found quite interesting as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was offered a full-time role. Then back then I was thinking, okay, if I take the events role, right, it can actually supplement my real estate income as well, because real estate there's no base ma.
Yes.
But then I thought about it again. If I take this role, right, it might actually sabotage my real estate career.
Very wise.
So I actually just took the leap of faith.
Very wise.
Actually rejected that role. Do some part-time work in between.
I recall.
Yeah. And when I started real estate, it wasn't a huge switch.
Yeah.
Because I was doing nothing before that.
Yeah.
On the contrary, I was very excited to
Yeah.
start work so that I can finally start what I've been dragging for the past 8 months.
Yeah. What was some of the part-time work that you did while waiting for real estate?
I did, one of it was Grab.
Wow, you drove Grab?
Grab.
Grab delivery for food, or is it?
No, like passenger one.
Wow.
Yeah. But that further reinforced my my faith in real estate. Because right, Grab, you work so hard, and I think the amount that you get in return, right, after
Yeah.
paying your petrol, paying off the car, it wasn't much.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was I remember there was a specific day.
Yeah.
And I never told anyone about this.
Yeah.
I actually fetched this customer who was, and I missed one turn lah.
Yeah.
So I took maybe like just 30 seconds more. But they saw my car from the app going around. Then after that I reached them, straight away come in and scold me.
Wow.
Scold me. Then after that they say, why is so long? This and that, this and that. Yeah, I'll cut the story short lah. But basically, once I dropped them off, they really slammed the door. Yeah, so that affected my mood. Then as I was driving off to pick the next customer, there was another car in front of me. And he wanted to park in the lot. But we already moved forward. There were cars behind me also. So after that, he wanted to reverse, right? He was almost hitting my car. So I honked at him. Straight away, 2 guys come out of the car, like gangsters, a bit abing one, come and knock my door and started scolding me. So that was the second time in a row I got scolded. Yeah.
Wow.
Then because of that, he was telling me reverse. I said, behind your car, I cannot reverse.
Yeah.
Then the car saw that they were confronting me, they went to reverse lah.
Yeah.
So after that, I reversed, they parked. Then I went to fetch the customer. I was late because of that. I got scolded the 3rd time. After I dropped them off, I just sat in my car. I just stop for that day already.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not easy work lah. So really respect for
I
people who
respect
can
Grab
drive like
drivers a
so many
lot.
hours in a row.
Yeah, and actually a lot of our successful brokers in our team, right, did Grab while they were waiting for their RAS papers as well, actually. And I respect that. Even Rodney himself, he was doing Grab food, I think. Then, so it's amazing. But thanks so much for sharing. I think one thing that I have noticed about you being in this team for close to 5 years, right, is that there is something that's very consistent about you. besides good looks, right? It's also
Eh.
it's also I think you didn't expect that, right? It's also that you are a very giving leader. And when I say you're a very giving leader, right, it's not that you give when people ask. That's of course what you do, but you always think about how to do better for people, not just people in your team and also people in the organization, right? Where do you think that instinct to give and invest in others come from? Maybe to you it's very natural, but I think it's not very common. But where did that come from?
It should be a natural human trait. Like, the way I see people, right, is that, or rather the way I want the world to be, right, is that everyone takes care of each other, such that no one has to worry.
Amazing.
Or no one will be left with less.
Yeah.
And if everyone can think that same way, right,
Yeah.
we will actually all thrive together and we will be in an environment of abundance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you have trained people who are older than you, right? And also individuals who, I mean, everybody in your team is older than you.
Yeah. All older.
So did you recall the first time when someone older wanted to join your team, and how do you feel about it?
So the first guy who wanted to join was Felix.
Yeah.
I remember we met in office. You were there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In, Stack Park, right?
Stack Park. Yeah.
Yes, I remember.
So I had before meeting
2 offices ago.
together with you, I had a chat with him beforehand lah. So back then, right, to be honest, I didn't really have the thought of recruiting.
Yeah.
But he, after one of the live we did, right?
Facebook
he
Live.
Yes, correct. He reached out to me asking, whether or not he can have a chat lah about
Yeah.
the industry and whatnot. So I mean, very casually, we just met up.
Yeah.
Then, to be frank, I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just took it in full faith
Yeah.
because I know that the system in JNA has helped me.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe that it will help him too.
Yeah.
So even if I need support, right, I know that the structures, the
Yeah.
system will be there to help me
Yeah.
support him as well
Yeah.
in the team building journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think many can say that, they do better than their people that they lead. I mean, a lot of people also do say that, leaders, you have to lead by example, right? Like what you mentioned, and also do better than your guys. But when I look back at how NBA coaches are, right? Sometimes the best coaches are not the best players. And that's something that I truly believe in, right? A coach should not be someone who constantly do better than your players, means something is wrong, right? But you have kind of found that secret. I think you are the only few in the team, while you're doing well in sales, you have trained individuals in your team who has done also exceptionally well, or even better than you in sales. Do you remember when that day happened, and how did you feel when you realized that they are doing better?
Okay, definitely I was very happy to see that they are able to achieve their own breakthrough.
Yeah.
So I never really saw it as like a comparison or whatnot. But although there was a certain point of time, I do have an inner desire to do better so that I can lead by example.
Amazing.
So leading by example was something very important to me. But I realized that, I mean, a lot of the results, right, actually is down to your own effort.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of the success they have gotten, in fact, I actually will give credit to their own hard work. If everyone's success, right, is actually just tagged to their mentor alone, you will see everyone doing the same.
Yeah.
But no, you see people doing better.
Yeah.
You see people who are doing not so well
Yeah.
In the industry, even though they're under the same team.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I feel that in this industry, it's actually tagged a lot to your own individual hard work.
Yeah.
But definitely, of course, the team that you're in, that actually decides the kind of support that you have, and that decides the kind of cap in terms of how well you're able to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that before anybody in the team started taking ownership over their own team, because that time at the start of JNA, everybody was just relying on the systems. You were one of the few that came up to tell me that I think we got to change our training programs. We got to make it a bit more replicable, a bit more systematic, a bit more predictable. You were also one of the few leaders who decided to take ownership over your own team by having your own team trainings and events. And the ownership started not only when you had a team of more than 10, but when you even had 1 or 2 associates, right? Maybe it's normal to you, but it is not normal to hear real estate leaders genuinely wanting their people to do better than them, because there's always that deep level of insecurity that what if I'm not good enough, I may lose them and stuff like that, right? Where did that heart come from?
The way I see it is that these people, right, they entrust their rice bowl to you.
Yeah.
So for me, it's very clear that if you trust me, I'll give my all to support you.
Yeah.
I genuinely want you to succeed. So you achieve the goals that you have achieved, that you can achieve.
Were there days that you felt like threatened that your guys are doing better?
Threaten?
Or you felt lousy?
Not really, but I do feel that desire to do well.
Because you want to lead by example.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Was there a moment where you felt that you had to choose between your own production and investing time in your own team? Because being a leader is crazy, right? You have to think about your guys, you have their consultation, you have to think about the vision of RSA, right? And sales associates. You have to think about, okay, my own sales, you have to think about when my clients are coming in. So was there a time that you remember distinctly that you decided to put more effort in your team or invested time in your team rather than your own production?
Funnily enough, it didn't really like conflict. Yeah, because when you talk about like leading people, right?
Yeah.
How much time can it take?
Yeah.
You can have one-on-one with them. That's like 1 hour of your time.
Yeah.
And that 1 hour, right, if done right, can essentially support them for a very long time.
Yeah.
Then let's say if they have questions, just a short phone call, maybe 5 minutes to solve their problem. For me, I didn't really see it as a challenge. Gradually, as the team size grows bigger,
Expanding,
it might be a bit more of a difficulty because you have more and more of these one-on-one sessions, more and more of these 5-10 minutes. But up to this point, I feel that it's actually still very manageable.
Amazing. So your definition of success, did it change from the day you started this business and versus now?
Yeah.
How did it change?
I would say it only changed quite recently.
Wow. This is raw, uncut. I never knew that, but maybe you can share.
So for a very long period of time, I mean, because I came in this industry, right, I wouldn't say that I have very, very big dreams. I have personal goals that I feel that if I hit this, I'll be comfortable. Yeah. But because I hit it, I was never really spurred to go to the next level. But as we see the team grow, you start to see that people are doing better and we are in the same environment. So that starts to make me think, right, am I like losing out somewhere?
Am I not doing big enough?
Yeah, correct. We have the same amount of days, same amount of hours. But if they can do it, that means I'm doing something wrong. Is all. Yeah. But I think a bigger push.
And I want to clarify that you are not doing bad.
Okay.
But I guess is that, there are people who are like just crazy people in our team now, right? That make you, I mean, Ryan has been a very consistent 6-figure producer, right? But that is the reason why we expand. So that as we expand, there's going to be people who's going to like smash our limiting belief and say that you think that is the max. Nope, there's another max, right? Yeah. So tell me more about that new version of success for you.
Yeah. So I mean,
I may be so touched that I may tear because this is a breakthrough moment for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing big lah. So I mean, back to the part about the team, right? Back when I joined, I think as a first year agent, I was doing relatively
very well. You're one of the top.
Where the team was.
Yeah, you were.
But eventually, as the team standard rises,
because new people came, and
we also do better.
Do
better. Yeah. So you start to see that gap. And I was like, okay, that was a point of reflection. But more than that, right, I have personal goals that I want to hit. And then when I go and jot down all these numbers, right, I jot down everything, all the payments that I have to make. For example, insurance, pay off my car fully, have my own stay.
Like how we do retirement planning for our clients.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, wow.
Then even like parents' allowance, etc.
And grandparents.
Yeah. So I jot everything down. I start to see how big that figure was.
Yeah.
It means to say, if I don't hit this figure, essentially my own retirement based on what I desire, right?
Yeah.
Might not be met.
Yeah.
And that actually made me think what I'm doing now, it has to go further.
I mean, over the past 4 years in JNA, you had great growth, right? I mean, you grew a team of 10 where you did not even want to build a team. You have made more than $700,000 in commission. What does that journey represent to you personally?
Actually, unexpected. But it has been a journey of growth, like 100%. So, in terms of leading people, I never expected a team of 10.
Yeah. You never wanted to build.
Yeah. But gradually that puts you in a position of leadership.
Yeah.
Whereby you cannot relax anymore.
Yeah.
Because these people are depending on you for the direction, for the next step, things like that. So that actually gave me more ownership to my business.
Yeah.
If to be frank, if I don't have a team, right, whatever I'm doing now, right,
it's fine.
I think is there's a lot less expectations, personal expectations. Yeah, but now that you have to lead by example, you have to show people that this business is possible. Imagine you join someone, never close any deal, then he tell you, hey, do this. It's a bit hard for you to go and follow the instruction also.
Yeah. So when I was looking back at the numbers, right, in terms of per capita production, your team is actually very productive. So I want to know, and I think this year we have almost potentially 2 rising millionaires that's coming out, right? Maybe they fall short by a little bit, but it's just slightly little bit, right? And it was like their first or second year in that business only, right? So what are some of the principles that you held on to, or the habits that you have that made you not just a consistent producer, but someone who became like a empowering and a producing leader?
So for me, right, one of the strengths I've come to realize, right, is that actually I'm quite patient
You are very patient.
when it comes to like leading people. And personally, I don't think I'm very patient, but seeing other people, I realize that not all of them are as patient. Then suddenly that becomes my strength.
Yeah.
So with that, right, actually, when it comes to like people who just joined the industry, right, maybe they have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
All of them, they are afraid to ask.
Yeah.
But I always made it a point to let them know, right, no matter how silly you think the question, or no matter how frustrating you think, right, it is to keep asking, right,
Yeah.
just ask.
Yeah.
Because I rather they clarify than go out there and then
Make the mistakes.
have a problem, then we have to fix that.
Yeah.
One of the ways I let my people lah.
Yeah, patience and a lot of love and cultivation. And that's the common theme amongst your people when they talk about you. They say that you are always there when they need help. They say that there's never a stupid question, right? And that's not just what your team said, but that's what JNA as a whole also said about you, right?
Thank you.
One of the people who always they reach out to, which makes you a little more busy, but they know that you're there for them, right? When you look at your team today, what is something that makes you feel proudest?
I would say beyond the accolades, beyond the achievements, right? Something that makes me the most, maybe not the most proud, but the most fulfilled, right? Is actually the gratitude they have in the team. So I remember during boot camp, right? We all wrote each other a note lah. And that's actually one of the things I cherish the most.
Yeah.
You can see how these people, they are genuinely grateful for whatever you have done for them lah. And I think that's something I really cherish a lot.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think 3 years back, you were appointed as the head of trainings in JNA, right? And this designation was given to you not because you wanted it. You never wanted any designation.
Suddenly
You
the
never
title appeared in the
you never wanted
collateral.
any responsibilities. But you were the first few who came to me with the heart of wanting to change how trainings is done in JNA. And I appreciate that till today. And we have seen the changes, right? Want to ask you a little bit. When you decided to rise up to become the head of trainings, what were some of the core problems you're trying to solve for agents?
I speak to agents in the team. I realized there were certain gaps of knowledge that to us, right, it might be like common sense.
Yeah.
Or like, hey, should already know.
Yeah.
You know? Even things like basic timeline or basic finances, I realized that, hey, actually not everyone know. So that actually sparked my so-called interest to actually cover these gaps. I mean, we were covering a lot of higher level stuff.
Yes.
Then some of these things that were supposed to be like
simpler
weren't really covered.
but
so
still essential
confirm.
to the foundation of the program.
Yeah, I mean, it's the foundation of the business.
Yeah.
So that's where I actually spoke to you lah. Say like, hey, actually there are certain things that we should give training for lah.
Yeah.
And remember the first Kickstarter, I think I did like maybe 4 trainings Because back then, okay, it's the problem of delegation again. I don't dare to tell people, hey, can you help teach this or not? So I lead by example, I lead 4 lah. Then I say, can you cover 1 or not? Then slowly, that's where we found different individuals to cover these different other trainings as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why is it so important for you to make things simple and replicable in a team?
First and foremost, helping the JNE system, right, will also help me as I team build as well.
Yeah, as a leader.
Yeah, because ultimately we all come together, we share our resources, we share our knowledge. We have individuals who are specialized in that specific field, teaching that topic. I mean, so we have different experts coming together and essentially pull our resources together lah. And then each of our downline, instead of you teaching 10 topics, you have 10 people to just teach one time.
That master topic, right?
Yes.
And one thing that I also appreciate a lot is that maybe in the past 5 years ago, JNA, I feel with people who are willing to coach, but they not be the best at it. But now you have truly subject matter expert that tried, proven, worked for their business that are coaching, right?
Yeah.
And the culture of giving back, if I may say, you are one of the key people who started this culture. Because a lot of people in JNA, they always say that, you have a culture of giving back. And I was just thinking, who are the first few people who actually started really making giving back a norm? And you are one of them. So I want to thank you for that as well. Yeah. So I just want to understand a bit more. 5 years from now, what do you hope people will say about JNA's training culture?
I think the first thing that I want them to know of JNA's training culture, right, is that it's replicable.
Yeah.
Because that first and foremost, if you have very good trainers, but the systems are not replicable, then essentially the people who are attending the training, right, they also can't replicate the success.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, it has to be replicable. And I think the level that we are at, the amount of value that we are giving to consumers right now, right, I would say compared to what's in the market, right, we are really giving a lot of value.
Yeah.
And I mean, credits to you
Everybody
guys,
who has
the
built
sales force also for contributing to a lot of the slides, a lot of the information that we have.
The rigor and everything.
Yeah, correct. If there's one thing I would say, replicable.
Yeah.
It must be, 100% must be replicable.
Yeah. So what do you hope that RSD can accomplish in 5 years' time? And what is the culture you're trying to build?
Okay. So within RSD itself, right, we have risen some pillars.
Wow.
So together we have already set some goals on the direction that we're going to hit, what the team size is going to be like.
Yeah.
More importantly, also to maintain the culture that we have. So we want to attract the right people.
Yeah.
People who are not just here, right, because they see that real estate is a business that you can make a lot of money, it's very easy. Because the truth is it's not.
It's not. Yeah.
It can be simple, but you definitely have to put in the work to earn that money, right? So we want to attract people who are willing to put in the work. They just want to have the right systems to support them.
Yeah.
This is an environment that we feel that they can succeed.
Yeah. So looking ahead, what excites you the most in the next phase of your journey?
Personal goals, right? I also hope to journey along with my clients towards the path of property investment.
Yeah.
So I do have some goals of my own towards the goal of retirement.
Yeah.
Using property.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to see how my clients and my own portfolio will progress over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And essentially reap the rewards for these investments.
And I want to congratulate you because I think you invested in your first property last year.
This year.
This year. So congratulations.
Thank
you
you.
practice what you preach, and that's not going to be a place that you stay, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I want to share one thing just to close off this entire podcast. Thank you so much for trusting us with your story. I want to say that JNA without you wouldn't be where we are at today. And I say that from the bottom of my heart, right? I mean, if I'm someone who, I told Junice the same thing, right? I say if I'm someone who wants to join a team, I would definitely want to consider both of your teams because you guys are people who give without asking anything in return. And there is never something you ask me before, what is in it for me before I do this? And you guys have been readily rising up for that. I know that Ryan 5 years ago is not going to be someone who believed that he could have achieved what he achieved today. And I know that Ryan 5 years later is also never going to imagine what he's going to achieve when he's sitting on this table. I wish you all the best and thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you. Thanks so much.